You have a regular cycle? Even if you have an irregular cycle, this is how to predict your ovulation successfully and accurately. This is me, Dr. Reham, El-Shal, infertility and IVF specialist. And we are here from our clinic in Egypt, where we are certified and practicing our medicine, and within a great family, which is Tabibati family, which is almost 1 million follower family. We are here to explain everything about ovulation, fertility, and everything you are need in your journey to motherhood. We will discuss multiple ways how to predict your ovulation in an irregular cycle. And we will specify which of these methods is the best method and the most accurate one. If you are struggling with fertility issues and you want to educate yourself more about ovulation and all of these things we are talking about in our channel, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you will understand everything about your journey to motherhood. And you will see and hear stories for a dozen of people and women who was struggling with infertility, and they have achieved their dream of motherhood after years of delay. Before we dive in these two types of women and two types of menstruation, we are in need to understand how to calculate your cycle and how to understand your cycle. Medical doctor point of view. We are calculating your cycle from the first day to the first day of the next cycle, not from the end of your cycle to the start of the next one. No, it's from the first day to the first day of the start of your period. This is the first day of the menstruation, of the blood flow, till the first day of the coming blood flow in the next month. It is around 28 to 30 days in general, or in regular cases, in cases of regular menstruation. In such cases, we can expect when ovulation will occur, because she have a regular cycle. Even in these cases, ovulation is easily predicted, and it comes at the days or in the mid of the cycle. And in these cases, what we call the ovulation window and fertility window will be between the day 12 and the day 16 of her cycle. At this time, she is fertile and she is able to get pregnant. Now, what about irregular cycles? These are cycles that comes early or late, even advancing by weeks or even delayed by months. In such cases, it becomes much harder to predict ovulation time. And that is what we are discussing in today's video. Among the most important methods to identify the ovulation time in irregular cases is the ovulation signs, which is different signs. One of the most popular method to predict ovulation is by measuring body temperature. Here, the woman measures her basal body temperature every day at the same time of the day. And an increase by about half a degree Celsius in these measures may indicate that she is in her ovulation window or in her fertile window, or this is the ovulation day. However, many factors can affect the basal body temperature. Very mild attack of cold, or even changes in the weather temperature, hot or cold temperature, may affect your basal body temperature and make this method or this sign unreliable to depend on. The second method, which is quite popular among women, is using ovulation kits, which is similar in appearance and used to the pregnancy test. It measures urine levels of LH hormones when LH sparks and makes ovulation to occur. Unfortunately, its accuracy is not high. For example, one of my patients told that she felt the ovulation in the day before she comes to the clinic, and after we do ultrasound, we found that the follicle is still established and it's not a ruptured follicle. And in this case, we find that and we define that ovulation kits is not the most trusted way of predicting ovulation. Now, let's talk about the most important, reliable, and accurate method for predicting ovulation, which is ultrasound ovulation tracking. What we are calling as a medical doctor, it's called folliculometry, in which we are measure the follicles in millimeters and expect when the day of ovulation will occur, and even make sure after ovulation that the ovum or the follicle has been ruptured. By the way, it's not the ovum which is ruptured. It's not a rupture of the ovum, it's rupture of the follicle. What's the difference? The difference is greatly different. The ovum is a very microscopic issue and we can't see by our eyes, our naked eyes, even by ultrasound. But we can see the inclusion of this follicle or the inclusion of this ovum. The grape, which is including it, is called the follicle, and this is the one which is ruptured during what we call the LS surge or what we call ovulation window or fertility window. And what happens after that? It releases the follicle into the tubes and it releases the follicle and it is picked up by the tube and transferred to be fertilized if the sperm is present in this time. And here is some notes which is important for the women who are measuring her follicles and tracking her ovulation by ultrasound. Tracking ovulation by abdominal ultrasound is incorrect and will not give us any data, especially in obese women. And if you have obese abdominal wall, you will not be able to detect the ovulation by abdominal ultrasound. It's only done by transvaginal ultrasound, and it should be found in the clinic you are following your ovulation. The second one, ovulation tracking, which depends on a single ultrasound monitoring, is not the accurate method to measure your ovulation. It's impossible for a single session to determine if we have a follicle which is going to be prepared to be ruptured, or we are seeing a cyst, for example. How to determine that from a single shot or a single ultrasound monitoring. On the other hand, we can't determine by a single ultrasound if this follicle ruptured or not. And even if we see a ruptured follicle by a single shot of ultrasound, it's not an accurate or it's not a detailed, it's not trusted issue to determine if this is truly ruptured follicle or it's a remnant from a cyst or a remnant for other thing we can also find as a doctors for ultrasound measuring. This is a very important issue to understand as a visitor to the clinic, as someone who is seeking pregnancy and searching for every information to understand what you are doing and not wasting your time for nothing or doing something you are not gaining a benefit from. This is a very important thing. Therefore, proper, multiple, transvaginal ultrasound monitoring of ovulation is the only medically reliable way to monitor ovulation. Other methods can be used as supportive or indicative tools. If you are not facing significant fertility challenges or you are not in a hurry to conceive, and who can determine if you are in a hurry or not, this is depending on multiple factors, and one of the most important factors to determine if you should hurry in that or you are not or you shouldn't is a medical decision, which is depending on laboratory exams and investigations, radiological investigations, and a lot of things to determine if this case medically is not in a hurry to get pregnant or to keep her fertility, or she is not, or she is in a hurry to keep her fertility, and if she waits, she is wasting a lot of time and a lot of chances of her chances to get pregnant and to be a mother. However, if you have been trying to conceive for years, or if you have a lower fertility chances, you should, for example, above 40 or women who have a very low ovarian reserve, then you must rely on the correct medical approach, which is ultrasound ovulation tracking. If you are struggling with delayed conception and you live outside Cairo or even outside Egypt, all over from any place around this great world, We have added new slots for online consultations, so you can personally consult me, Dr. Reham, El-Shal, specialist in infertility treatment, and to be part of our great family, Tabibati family, in which we are trying to add more and more of teachings and how to understand every point in your journey to fertility and to motherhood. And we have helped already a lot of people and a lot of couples even to reach their dream of becoming parents and mother and father, as we described, after years of waiting. If you made it to the end of this video, we would love you to share with us in the comments what is the preferred subject to talk about in the next video, inshallah, and was this lesson useful for you or not, and how to increase the amount of knowledge in our videos. If you would like us to talk about the ovarian reserve and its effect to fertility, write the number 1 in the comments below. And if you want us to talk about herbs and its effects to post-fertility, or type number 2 in the comments below. Keep happy and see you in the next video.